What is going on, YouTube? Revis Talk Sports here, back at it again with a brand new Green Bay Packers mock draft. We most recently did a 5-round mock draft. We are adding an additional round. So in this video, this is my 6th round mock draft for the Green Bay Packers. So without further ado, stop the video. So one of the few things that Brian Gutenkunst has mentioned during his interviews is the ability to add additional draft capital to the upcoming NFL draft. So we're going to do something that I have not done before, and we're going to be trading out of the first round, and our first selection will be an early second round pick. Let's go ahead and find a trade candidate for an early second round, and that is going to be with the New York Giants. So we're going to go ahead and give them pick 23. They'll give us 34, 65. I understand there may be some future picks involved for this to happen, but for the purpose of this simulator, we'll just add an extra day 3 here. So we'll go ahead and make this trade. And we're going to trade out the first round, and our first pick of this draft will be pick 34, second round. And if the Green Bay Packers were to trade out of the first round and make their first selection in the early second round, the two positions that I can think of is either a wide receiver or potentially defensive line. And if we're trading out of the first round, I do like a wide receiver here at pick 34. Run that card in, and it is Jaire Higgins. With Christian Watson being out up until week 12, week 13, he can provide that ability to play the X and kind of bring in that Christian Watson-like ability to our offense. And besides, with Watson being out up until week 12, Romeo Doubs does have some concussion concerns, but if Doubs does suffer another concussion this upcoming season, we do need to add more playmakers to this room. The Green Bay Packers do have 4 wide receivers hitting free agency after this upcoming season, with 2 of them being Watson and Doubs. Gotta think long-term at this wide receiver group, and especially short-term if anything else were to happen to our wide receiver core. Go ahead and run that card in. Jaire Higgins, you are at pick 34. I think that would be a huge home run play for the Green Bay Packers in this scenario. Okay, here we are at pick 54, second round. I think we can either go cornerback here. I think we go defensive line here. Let's go ahead and look at our options here because Brian Gutenkunst does want to apply pressure with 4 defensive linemen. Let's go ahead and look at our defensive line group. We have Tyleik Williams here, Omar Norman Lott, Shamar Stewart, Joshua Farmer. Let's go ahead and look at the cornerbacks. Don't know if he'll be here at pick 54, but with the simulator, we do have him here. I do love Trey Amos at pick 54. He has the height, he has the weight, and if Brian Gutenkunst were to trade Jaire Alexander, we do need that true boundary corner in this room. And if Brian Gutenkunst does trade Jaire, we have Nate Hobbs, Carrington Valentine, and Keyshawn Nixon. We need to add more competition. We need to add more depth, especially we lost some key cornerbacks in free agency. And Nate Hobbs has yet to play a full NFL season, like I said before. Valentine has yet to play a full season at that CB2 role. And I think Nixon is more of a slot, and he may compete at slot between Hobbs and Nixon. Let's go ahead and find that X Factor Jaire replacement on the boundary. Run that card in as well. Trey Amos at pick 54 in the second round. I think these are A+ picks so far. All right, round 3, pick 65. We took care of the wide receiver position, the cornerback position. This is where Brian Gutenkunst is trying to find the future defensive lineman for the Green Bay Packers. Devontae Wyatt's future is uncertain. We have yet to provide him the extension, and Kenny Clark is looking like a cut candidate after this upcoming season. Gotta think long-term at the defensive line, and if he wants to apply pressure with 4, we need to add more beef to the defensive line. Let's go ahead and look at defensive linemen, and I think right here, Shamar Turner, we go ahead and run that card in. Shamar Turner, he may be looked at as a tweener, right? I believe he's 6'3", 290 pounds, but he has damn near 34-inch arms. He plays with unlimited activity, consistent violence, and that's pretty much what we need on the defensive line. Someone that brings in consistent violence, someone that's able to provide consistent pressure, provide competition to Wyatt and Clark, and be looked at as the future 3 tech for the Green Bay Packers if they were to release Kenny Clark after the season. Let's go ahead and get our defensive lineman within the first 3 rounds. Let's go ahead and get Shamar Turner at pick 65. Round 3, pick 87. There are a couple positions that we can double dip in. We can double dip at the wide receiver position, double dip at corner or defensive lineman. If probably Wyatt and Clark are gone after the season, we can kind of double dip at defensive lineman here. But I think we should double dip at the wide receiver position. And this pick right here, Jack Besh, pick 87. I think we should select him and double dip at the wide receiver position. Something that I mentioned earlier before, we have 4 wide receivers hitting free agency after this upcoming season. Definitely some injury uncertainties with Romeo Dobbs with his concussions. Watson will be out for quite some time. I think we have to think long term at the wide receiver core and give Jordan Love some playmakers in that room. Let's go ahead and bring in Jack Bech. Senior Bowl standout, provides inside-out versatility, has pretty good ball skills, and that is what we need. We need someone in this room with great ball skills. We cannot afford any more drop passes this upcoming season. Double dipping with Jaden Higgins and getting Jack Bech, I think that will be huge for a wide receiver core. Round 4, pick 124. Look at the defensive line here. Look at cornerback. Don't think linebacker is a serious need, but if Chris Paul is here at pick 124, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Look, the linebacker position is not an immediate need. We have 5 linebackers, right? We have Edgerrin Cooper, Quay Walker, McDuffie, Hopper, and we got Welch. But we have yet to give Quay Walker that extension. So there is a possibility this is his last year with the Green Bay Packers. Another thing is with Isaiah McDuffie being on the field on passing down situations, he was a huge liability in our pass defense at the linebacker position. So we kind of have to maybe potentially create one of the best linebacker cores in the NFL. And if we select Chris Paul Jr. here, that will be huge for our defense. And especially if the Packers may think about moving on from Quay Walker and also see Isaiah McDuffie as a liability in the passing game. This pick does not hurt. Not an immediate need, but Chris Paul Jr. to this linebacker core. This might be one of the best linebacker cores in the NFL when you have Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, and then adding Chris Paul Jr. to this room. This will be huge. I don't hate it. People may scratch their heads on this. I don't hate it. I think you should go ahead and get one of the best linebackers in the draft. And I think Chris Paul Jr. and Edgerrin Cooper, they could be a dynamic duo in 2026, or if Quay Walker gets hurt. I mean, Quay Walker hasn't played a full season since maybe his rookie year, if that, but Quay Walker did have some suspension issues, did have some injury issues. So if the Packers do plan on letting Walker go, or if Walker gets hurt during the season, having Chris Paul Jr. to this room will be huge. So let's go ahead and select Chris Paul Jr. at pick 124. All right, pick 159, round 5. I think we can either double dip on the defensive line. I think we can either look at edge here. And I think we can look at edge here. I mean, we have yet to select an edge here. We've pretty much taken care of the wide receiver position, cornerback, and we did get a linebacker. I do like Antoine Powell-Ryland here. I mean, he does not meet that weight threshold that the Packers like. They do like 260 plus. He is 258, but he is 6'3". In the past 2 seasons, he has about 22.5 sacks. He has the college productions, and I think if he can be in as a rotational pass rusher before he can kind of potentially get that full-time role, we need more heat at the edge position. And Brian Gutenkunst did say he does not want to chase edge rushers in the draft. If he could wait a little bit and Antoine Powell-Ryland is there, with the college production that he has, I think that will add more juice to this edge rusher position. Let's go ahead and select Antoine Powell-Ryland at pick 159. And last but not least, round 6, pick 198. This is the final pick of the 6th round Green Bay Packers mock draft. We've double dipped at the wide receiver position. We can double dip at defensive line here. We can double dip at the cornerback position. I think you can't go wrong at defensive line or cornerback, but I think we should probably think long-term at the cornerback position. I think we should add more competition, more depth to the pass defense. Let's go ahead and select Noah Williams. He has elite ball skills, quite athletic, and I think him just going to this room for the Green Bay Packers, I think this could be one of the most stingiest young cornerback groups in the NFL for the Green Bay Packers. Let's go ahead and select Noah Williams out of California. There you have it. This is my 6th round mock draft for the Green Bay Packers. And let's go ahead and go down this list and go over these prospects. Pick 34, Jaden Higgins. 54, Trey Amos. 65, Shamar Turner. 87, Jack Bech. 124, Chris Paul Jr. 159, Antoine Powell-Ryland, and 198, Noah Williams. I think I could have double dipped a bit, maybe at the edge position or defensive line early, but this is what I got right here based on what I'm getting from the simulator. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, give the video a thumbs up and comment below on your thoughts on this draft, anything you will do differently, and you can even give me a grade, but provide me your input in the comment section below. But thank you so much, and catch you guys next time.